One of the great things about summer is that it's the perfect time to start pickling. Pickling, of course, a terrific way of preserving fruits and vegetables in season so they can be consumed with passion when they're not in season. One of my favourite fruits for this is the peach. And of course, when it's prepared with spices, vinegar and honey, they are just fantastic. As in the recipe from Trish Durham, who's kindly allowed me to use it on Consuming Passions. First to a pickling syrup. In a non-reactive pan goes vinegar, about 500 mils of vinegar, and preferably a gentle flavoured one. A cider vinegar would be terrific, remembering that if a vinegar is not worth drinking, it's not worth pickling with. I'm using a stainless steel pan for this, but preferably not an aluminium one which will react with the acid in the vinegar. Sugar next. About half a kilo of white sugar, caster sugar or granulated, or you could use raw sugar for this purpose. I then add a generous couple of tablespoons of good runny honey. These are all heated together to dissolve the sugar. Spices are added next. Now, a lot of recipes call for a piece of cinnamon stick. How long a piece of cinnamon stick should you use? Well, here is a general rule of thumb, and that is, if you can smell it from about there, then I would think that a small piece could be used. But if you have to bring it to here before you can smell it, then a larger piece. So for this particular recipe, with this particular cinnamon, a piece about 20 centimetres long. Cardamom pods, 5 or 6 of these little charmers, a whole nutmeg, and a whole star anise. This is another heavenly body from the spice world, terrific in Trish Durham's Heavenly Peaches. And of course, no dish like this would be complete without a few cloves. Now these are simmered together for 30 minutes or so, and then allowed to cool. To the peaches, it's best to choose peaches at the beginning or the middle of the season rather than at the end when they may have been in controlled environments. You could also use nectarines, which of course are a variety of peach, Persica nectarina. Good peaches will be highly fragrant and the flesh will have just a little give in it when squeezed. First their skin. This is done by cutting through the skin, then covering with boiling water and steeping for a minute or so, and then dunking them in cold water. If they're ripe, they should peel easily. Take care not to leave them in the hot water too long or they'll start to poach. I use about 750 grams of peaches in this particular recipe. Once peeled, they're put into that liquor and covered and steeped, preferably overnight. With peaches this side, I keep them whole, but with bigger peaches, I cut them in half, taking out the stone. Next day, they're brought to a gentle boil and allowed to simmer for 10 minutes and then to cool. Now, the important thing about preserving is that the jars are spotlessly clean, and that means sterilizing them, but that's not that hard to do. A clean jar or jars are put into a large pan of water, which is brought to the boil, and they're boiled for around 10 minutes to kill any potential bacteria. Then they're drained upside down and transferred to a slow oven, about 150 degrees C, to dry. The jar should be filled while it's still warm. So back to the peaches. I take them one by one, put them into the jar, and cover with the liquor. Once filled, the top or tops go on. Any leftover juice may be used as sauce with fruit and ice cream. The challenge now is to put the jar or jars away for at least 3 weeks till they're ready to serve. Now, how easy was that? Degree of difficulty, medium. Preparation time, about an hour plus cooking. Keepability, almost indefinitely. Pickling fruit, there's almost no limit to what you can do, such as Trish Durham's Heavenly Peaches. So heavenly, in fact, that sometimes you can see a halo. Well, of course, I can't eat these now, but instead, I think I'll just satisfy myself with a peach. From Consuming Passions, till next time, bon appetit.